How do you see what has unfolded over the last few days, where shareholders of the Adani stock have lost more than $100 billion in market cap? There is a market meltdown that led to the cancellation of their FPO. Do you see this? Do you admit that this is a huge hit on the credibility and reputation of the Adani Group, and some would say by extension of the India story and the Modi story as well?
See, Rajit, the point is you have to see what is going on in the world today. Believe me, nobody is happy at the fact that India has come out of the shadows and is making its presence felt in the world. Nobody is happy that Indian businessmen today are making their presence felt in the world. There was a time where we were wooing British business people to invest in India. Now I see the British government wooing Indians to invest in United Kingdom. So this has been a quantum change in the dynamics of the world, and this had to have its repercussions of this kind. What I find surprising, if you separate the wood from the trees and go away from what multiples of EBITDA are there and what multiples have been taken into account, if you take a step back, I think this is a wholesale assault on India and Indians. And let me tell you why. Most of Adani's assets are in the... If you see the way things work, today, if you see the way things work in India, most of Adani's assets, be it ports, be it power sector, be it the airports, are regulated. They are all in the regulated sector. In the regulated sector, you have advantages and disadvantages. You have predictable revenues because you have a regulator fixing your tariff. You can't make more money, but then at least you have almost guaranteed revenues, because even today, these infrastructure projects are like monopoly projects. That's why you have regulation. The other investments are in hardcore Indian assets like manufacture of cement. Now look at yesterday's budget with the big thrust on infrastructure. Cement prices are going to do well. So yes, the India story of growth, yesterday's economic survey said it, and the budget says it, is going to be driven by primarily by government expenditure and large government expenditure on infrastructure. Now that creates an opportunity for certain kind of businesses to prosper. So I don't think this kind of a broadside was justified. Secondly, most of their companies are listed, all their records are in public domain. So to say that you've done some hidden research and all is all a nonsense. The third, which I find most remarkable, is in today's India, banks do not lend unless they stress test all proposals. One of the criticisms of India today is that the growth which we are seeing is all in the large industrial sector, where the banks feel comfortable lending. The MSMEs are still floundering post-pandemic because the banks are reluctant to lend where there is any element of risk. So with all this in place,
yes,
I think this kind of a attack is clearly something which is not unknown, but something which is a part of the game.
No, no.
Now look at what they are doing. They are
Mr. Salve. Mr. Salve, let me stop you for a moment here. You seem to be suggesting, Mr. Salve, that this is some kind of a conspiracy against the India growth story. Surely the allegations that Hindenburg made of money laundering, shell companies, stock manipulation, these are seen as serious enough for the markets to respond the way they have. The Adanis may have given their own reply, but the market is clearly not buying the Adani story, and surely not buying this attempt or even your attempt today to equate Adani's stock meltdown as an attack on India. Isn't it better that the Adanis find a better response to these allegations than waving the national flag?
So let me answer you straight away. Today, there is no company, shell company otherwise, there is no company which is not shown on a balance sheet. If a listed entity has subsidiaries overseas, they are all shown. If today Adani controls directly or indirectly stock in a listed company. It has to be disclosed under and under SEBI regulations. It has to be disclosed and make money. So there is nothing which is hidden. So this whole hidden nonsense is first of all which you need to see. Money laundering you can allege against anybody. The important thing is these are shorting firms. Now you know what a shorting firm is. You sell a large chunk of shares, then you crash a company. So you sold the shares, which is say trading at $15, you sold the share at 12. So you have ready sales. Then you crash the share in this way. The share drops to 9. So you made a neat profit of 3 because your buyer is not going to buy at 12 when the market is trading at 9. If you see Hindenburg, they say we are a shorting firm. So this is the way some people like making their money, come up with these allegations. So where India lacks, and this has been my big complaint. If you do this in the US, you can destroy Hindenburg. In India, we do not have the legal framework to take on a Hindenburg.
No, no.
You sue them for damages, Gautam's grandchildren will be fighting the case.